and this is what I can do. This is what we are. So national board certification teachers are pretty rare. I think there's less than 1% in the state, 3% across the country. That's a pretty small number. To have 6 in our school district is pretty awesome. We used to have more. A number of years ago, you know, it is additional work. It's a lot of work. So teachers get a stipend on top of what they get paid because they've earned that money. And every now and again, like the 4 teachers that we mentioned at a later meeting, they have to be recertified. So it's not like something you get it and you own it, right? It's like you got to go back and get recertified, do this again. I think that's pretty highly of their commitment to providing quality education to the students of Lincoln County. Our teachers too try to do that on a daily basis. We are all, life brings struggles. Education is not an easy endeavor. So again, my praise and gratitude to the 2 teachers that have achieved that this year and to the 4 teachers that have got recertified. Hopefully in the future, there are more. As we all know, Dr. Gray resigned. So we'll be looking for a new superintendent. You know, hopefully that process is a swift one with clarity. So that, Dr. Gray, at this time, thank you very much for what you brought. It wasn't an easy beginning. I hope it is a pleasant ending. So thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next month. Oh, and progress. Recording in progress. Awesome. Anyway, so we will be bringing people to the next school board meeting to speak, other than just hearing me speak all the time, to talk about what's going on. So we're lining up some people. I believe the next meeting is in Toledo, Walport, Newport, and I forget where the last one is. Anyway, pardon?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
always in Newport.
So we'll be bringing some teachers to speak about what they bring to the classroom and the efforts that we are going through to make sure that we provide a quality education in the communities that we live in, support in, and are growing in. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your report.
Mike was able to join us on Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much. So we do have Mike Bowles in attendance.
I just, Liz, may I say something?
Yes.
I just want to make clear that when we announced Dr. Grace, she's retiring.
Yes.
Not
So,
resigning.
Thank you, Santila, because
Yes.
I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
didn't
recognition
resign.
is not a good.
She's retiring.
Announce her retirement and I like.
Did you get that, Peter?
to
Okay, all
promote
right.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, our resignation's a little different than a retirement after 44 years.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Centelia, for bringing that.
Thank
to,
you.
all right, okay. Moving along, we'll go to area reports. Mary and Starla, good evening. Do you guys ever really walk on this floor? It is so shiny. There's like not a heel mark on here. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
Good custodial work.
Yeah,
Our custodians do a great job.
it shows. It is gorgeous.
I first just wanted to say that we really appreciate you and all the work you do. And I'm so glad that we got to have our board meeting at our school on School Board Appreciation Month. As you can see, some of our students in the school have done posters for you. And then I put together, because your meetings are long, and as Karen said, Dr. Gray said that you do this out of the goodness of your heart. I put together a school board survival kit for you. And so that is in the orange bag. So if you feel like you need something, that's all in there to help you get through your long meetings. So I wanted to just say some of the celebrations that we've had here at Ocean Lake. My goal this year is to get parent involvement back. When we had COVID, we just had the door shut and no one was allowed in. And we're trying to open that up now and bring families back into our school. So one of the wonderful things we were able to do this year, which we haven't been able to do in 3 years, is we had a winter concert. And we had 3 separate concerts, one for each grade level. And I ordered 230 chairs, and every single concert, all 3 of them they were full. I couldn't believe the crowds that we had. It was wonderful and the kids did great. And the parents were very pleased. So again, we had a great sound system because we were able to order new music, a sound system through our music funds. And it was just very exciting to see all the parents in here. So that was one of the things that really brought joy to me. We also did this year provided T-shirts for our students.
They are so cute.
Super cute.
And then we provided T-shirts for our parents.
Oh, my gosh.
And so they say proud parent of a tiger. And I gave, like families one, and then so many of them asked for a second. I was like, sure, let's do it. So I see lots of families coming in with their shirts on, and we're just continuing to build that family culture here. The other thing that we're doing is I have a culture climate committee, and every month they send home an activity for the families to do together, and then they send it back. And so that the parents are involved in an activity with their child, and then we post them outside on the boards around the classrooms. So November, they got a turkey and they had to disguise it into something else. So whatever they could make it look like, but not a turkey, even though it was a turkey. So it was really fun for the kids to walk around and see what everybody else did. This month it went home and it's on the new year, and they're going to talk about like what their hopes are, dreams are, what they would like to see happen in the new year, and kind of like that. So that's just another way that we're encouraging to keep our parents involved with what we're doing and be a part of our team. As far as upcoming professional development and events, we've been really focusing on our math. We had our math TOSA come last week and do a presentation, a PD for our staff. We've really been working hard to and learn how to teach math correctly using like questioning that really has the kids thinking, not just saying, oh, you have the right answer, but instead really taking time to say, how did you get that? Why, what makes you think that's the answer? What did you get? Let's compare. Does it look different? Can you get a different answer? And can you do it a different way? All the ways that we can have kids start really discussing math and using math vocabulary. So that's one of our focuses this year. I have 7 new teachers in my building. And so that's half of my teaching staff. So making sure that we have all the trainings such as the ECRI, our PBIS, and our conscious discipline trainings, making sure everyone's up to date and knows what they're supposed to be doing, along with their teachers that have been here and already do know that. And then we do have a 6-week conscious discipline course that my staff will be taking called Handling Upset. It's an adult first mindset shift, helping our staff to learn we have to be in our executive state before you can help anybody, any students. So it's working on ourselves and how to be calm and in our executive state before we address a student. So I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Mills.
Hi, thank you.
Please, Starla.
One of the things that we've also been focusing on is increasing our enrollment. And with that, this year, we have quite a few first grade and second grade students that have never been in a school setting. So we pride ourselves on utilizing PBIS, conscious discipline, and we use DESA here at Ocean Lake. We use those for our school-wide expectations. Conscious discipline demonstrates for the teachers how the adults go into a situation and how they respond to behavior. That if you are not in your executive state, you can't respond to that student. That the student can't be in a higher state than you are. So if you go in emotional and upset, then the student's going to respond in that way. So we always want to make sure that the adult is responding as well. DESA is the social emotional screener that we use to identify where the student's strengths are and where their areas of growth are. And we use that data school-wide to create lessons and gives us an area of where we need to grow. And we create lessons that teachers use in their classroom. Lately, we've been focusing on disruption. Because like I said, we have a lot of students who have not been in a school setting. So how to be around 30 other students in the same room has been a new learning curve. So a little point of data for that, in September, we had about 277 major and minor referrals or incidents that were documented, not big things, but just we want to make sure we know what's going on, to implementing those school-wide lessons to where now between December's 2 or 3 weeks and January's 1st, we only had 70. So we had a 200 referral decrease in those few months. So those lessons are making an impact and teachers are doing it there. Another thing that we have created is a school handbook for staff. This is also available online, so teachers can interact with it in their Google Drive. We use everything we hand them at a staff meeting, we put into this and as well as we put online. So we just try to make sure everything's at their fingertips and they can use that. So.
And she's being shy. She's the one who developed all of this and put it together, which was very nice. And I was
I
thinking,
pulled from a lot of different resources, but.
I wanted to, our little kids, it's hard for them to stay up late. And so we wanted to do a presentation. So we have a presentation for you. We have been talking to the students about that. We are celebrating 100 years. And what is that about? And so what we did is we did what's called a interview with our kids, asked them the question, what will school be like in 100 years? So this is our kindergarten students.
Oh, fun.
In 100 years, what will school be like? School would be like different, like the playground would be different and the inside of the classrooms would be different. And the whiteboards. I think school would be like students instead of crayons, they use markers. Make it look like people reading. I think the bookshelf is gonna be by the computers, and then the computers is gonna be like where the bookshelves is, and then the covers are gonna be by the oven, and then I think that's it. And what else is? I think would be electronics, and I think there would be papers, and I think the playground and that's electronics. In 100 years, I think my mom was turned into a total. Like really old, when it's 100 years old. I think I will walk up a slide down. In 100 years, I think school will be different, but there's no playground, and you get, and at the end of the day, you get, at the end of the day, you get your. Some people bring frogs. Yes, I think school. Just, I like school. 100 years, there's gonna be no computers. In 100 years, I think school will be not real. 100 years said this bus can fly. I think school is gonna be different with new teachers. I would say the new school in 100 years will be really cool. It will be a nice day, and it will be good.
Thank you. That was priceless. That's really cute.
Well, you guys
Nice
look-
job.
Do us a favor and send that back out to us.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we can
Send
look
to
at
the
it
board.
again.
Eddie. yeah.
Published in your board packet.
Uh-huh.
Oh, awesome. I'm really, your culture climate committee, it really interests me. I like that bringing the families into the fold of the school day and yeah. That's awesome.
COVID made it very different, you know, it shut the doors and we didn't have that connection. And
Yeah.
so we still want to have that connection with our families. So,
I do believe that they're waiting to be invited back.
oh, yeah.
And they are, we've been
Yeah.
having volunteers lining up and getting signed up and yeah,
Awesome.
every day we have more.
That's really great to have people wanting to come to the schools, that you had 200 plus family and parents here 3 different times. That is remarkable. Well done, you guys. That's creating that whole community. And that's, you know, the saying is, it takes a village. There it is right there.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
That was really fun. I have this Jetson thing in my mind, you know, of 100 years. So that's probably only 20 years. So, see, moving along to the financial report. Good afternoon, good evening, Kim. Nice to see you.
I've updated the financial reports as of December 31st. On the general fund revenue and expenditure summary, you'll notice a couple of blue items. Those are revenue items that we anticipated receiving in December, but we have not received yet. So I moved those to January. And I updated the ADM figures. I have updated September. I believe last month I told you we thought it was going to be 5,088.5. You can see that the final number is 5,095.5 for the monthly and year to date. And then as of December, we're at 5,090 for the monthly and 5,098 for year to date.
I'd say that's pretty darn close.
It is. We budgeted 5,102.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Kim, might I ask you to just speak up a bit, please, if you don't mind? I know you have. a
Right, I've
very-
been talking all day and my
Yep.
voice is
very
pretty
soft
raspy like
voice and
Liz's.
suspended, But
Okay.
just do us that.
Kim, the fluctuation in ADM, is that what we see here? Is that a typical movement?
Typically, we start out a little high and it declines.
Drops off.
Through the year. Mhm. You can see that in the history, in the middle of the page at the bottom.
Right.
It does fluctuate throughout the year. Other years when we've had, for many years, we were in declining enrollment, and then for a while, we were in increasing enrollment, and now we dropped about 400 students and we're been pretty flat since COVID started.
And up in some areas and down in other
Yes.
areas.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
We had hoped to be higher and it was not. So we flattened out at about 400 and I'll have more conversation about that at the January work session.
Statewide, there's about 12,000 students that they really can't account for a drop in enrollment. The rest of those have moved out of state. So about 30,000
It's 30,000.
statewide,
Wow.
and 48% of that is in the Lynn Benton Lincoln ESD area.
Is there any theories about why we're hit more than other areas?
The superintendents have discussed it at the visa meeting. No one can come up with a reason, but we're the hardest hit,
Interesting.
highest unemployment.
It could be a lot of factors, unemployment, housing.
Yeah.
Yeah, unemployment has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So onto the monthly comparison. This is for general fund revenues and expenditures. You'll notice we received about $1.7 million less than we had projected in current year's tax levies. But if you remember last month, we were up about 3.5 million. So it's really just a timing issue of when the tax payments came in for those November payments. November versus December. And same with the prior year's taxes. You'll notice the interest on investments is up considerably. Again, interest rates are climbing, and you'll see that when we get to the, especially when we get to the investments report. I also want to remind you, I added a note on the bottom that these projections are based on budget and the average percent received or expended during the same time period over the past 6 years. And And remember that 3 of those years were COVID years, so while these are a guideline, I would say they're not as solid estimates as they have been in the past.
That would
Because of
definitely
that.
skew it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
And then you can see a couple of items that I mentioned on the previous page that weren't received in December. I expect to see those come in January or February. And then on the total monthly revenue is down $2 million. But again, that's just the timing of the tax payments because November was actually up 3.5 million. So we're actually ahead about $1 million. Salaries and benefits continue to be underspent. Benefits, especially, we always see that because we budget as if everybody was taking full benefits, and we know that not everybody does. So we anticipate that to be underspent usually. Have any questions so far?
Did you guys, I just want to make sure to point out again, if you'll just bear with me, that the 2 million, remember the last month it was up 3.4. Just want you to be clear when you see a number like that. That's why Kim made that note, so that you were clear that that is not a $2 million loss. Right? Can you see that?
It was a
Yeah, so.
transfer
Mhm.
of funds.
Well,
No, it's just a timing of when the tax. payments came in.
Okay, that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because we
Yeah.
estimated that we'd receive
yeah.
more in December.
This depends what day you receive it.
Remember, it's based on the last 6 years average of when tax payments were received. That's how we arrive at the projections.
And you're talking about local tax revenue. then. Yeah.
Yeah, property
just
taxes.
make sure you understand that.
No, I
And
get
it's
it.
clever of you though, Liz, because that is the amount of the transfers. So you match that up in your head. But this is due to something else. Yeah,
Okay,
the taxes.
all right.
Okay,
Thank you for mentioning that, Liz. I did neglect to mention that. Under the expenditures, you can see the transfers that you approved last month. The 3.5 million was projected and we increased that by 50,000.
That's what you think.
For some additional funds in the property reserves.
Yep.
And you can see that we did transfer those. Yep. So the purchase services, page 3, this is again, general fund expenditures only. On note E, you can see, as if you remember last month, I said that we hadn't the custodial bill in the month of November. I think the first of the month landed on the Friday. We always do our accounts payable runs on Fridays. And so it was just a timing issue there. So we paid the November and December bill in December. Any questions on that? Page 4 starts our special revenue fund statements. You'll see that the transfers that you approved last month are reflected on this statement. I want to remind you that the negative fund balances are normal because all of our grants are reimbursement basis grants aside from the SIA, which has a little bit different funding stream. But that means that we expend the funds, then we request reimbursement from ODE, and we get the cash back later. Do you have any questions about any of those funds? And the next page, page 6, is the bills and claims over 10,000. This is representative of all funds. So not just general fund, but all of the special revenue funds as well. We've got our monthly contract service payments, the state school fund payments to the charter schools. We purchased reader boards for Taft High School and Toledo High School. That was great to get those projects done.
That's exciting.
And by the way, the one in Toledo is just, it's ideal where it's placed and it's So every time you go by on Sturtevant, you know what's happening at the school. Really appreciate that.
great.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
Thank
real
you,
visible,
Rich.
real clear. Yeah.
Yeah, the one at Taft is a miracle.
Yeah.
Because we had to go to the city and petition a law and have the law amended in order for us to get the one at Taft, because they told us we couldn't. So that was Sue Graves, Karen Gray duo, constantly going to city council meetings in Lincoln City to get that law amended and go through all of the community process that it takes, and it's gorgeous. And it does the same thing you just mentioned. It really announces to the community what's happening.
Right. It's just another.
It's a
tool for
communication tool.
communication, Absolutely.
It certainly is.
So some other items on here, there's several professional development items, some expenditures for the Corona View Gym that is progressing nicely.
Sure is.
And then I wanted to highlight the Department of Education payment on December 16th. That was the return of unused summer grant funds for 128,000 roughly. They required us to take 25% of that grant up front, even though we knew we wouldn't use nearly that amount of money because we had other funds we were using to pay for summer school. So we were required to take that money up front and then pay it back to them, which is unusual for ODE. But that's what happened with that one. And then I wanted to note on the Polly Rogers line on December 30th, it's the third from the bottom, the annual audit and the financial statements. If you notice on the purchase services, it only listed 17,000. That was general fund only. This page is all funds. And so $4,600 of that expense was paid by the SIA grant because there are special audit requirements for that they charge us additional for.
So we actually got it paid for it. It came on the SIA. fund.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
kind of something we
4,600 of
talked
it.
about when we were preparing for the meeting tonight. Kim can talk more about this if she would like, as she's the expert. But we thought we would make a distinction between what was the general fund ledger versus an all funds ledger, which tells you that not all of these things on this bills and claims over 10,000 are come out of the general fund. In fact, bunches of them don't. So that we just wanted to make that distinction for the board so that you would know there's a big difference.
We used to indicate on this report which funds things were being paid out of, but it really kind of cluttered it. And so we don't include that anymore.
I'm sure if we wanted it, we could get it.
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
Yep. And then on the investment report, you can see with the various ins and outs, the ending fund balance really stayed pretty much the same. But I did want to point out that the interest rates are in LGIP was 3.04% in December last year. In 2021, it was 0.45%. So you can see how much those have increased and they will be climbing again next month.
So can you kind of anticipate what that interest rate growth is going to?
You really
Hard-
can't.
hard-
Not
Yeah.
really.
No.
Yeah. But in terms of,
We budgeted at the lower rate. That's why you'll see on the monthly comparison why we're up 87,000 over what we projected or what we budgeted.
Yeah, because these increasing interest rates are good for our money that we're
You
investing.
can't, hard to project.
no,
Possible.
I understand that. Who knows what Powell's going to do?
Right.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's not a deficit for us, it's an increase.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I guess my question is, and you've got it here, it's how much in additions that we're getting yearly from interest?
No, that isn't on this report.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
You-
That would
do you
be a
have
different
Do you have a number
report.
off the top of your head?
No, I
How
don't.
much? Okay,
But it was $87,000 in December
okay.
over what we anticipated. So, and it keeps climbing.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So
And it varies
it's $1
through,
million potentially.
well, it varies through the year because
Yeah.
we get all our tax payments up front.
Mhm.
And so we've
Right.
got a large balance
Yes,
right
very
now. We're going to get more interest on that large balance. And as we spend it through the year, then it'll decline,
You need-
even though the interest rates are up.
You need a calculator for that.
Yeah.
The crystal glass.
Thank you, Kim.
And does anybody have any questions for Kim before she leaves? Thank you. I was just gonna make note. I'm reading that at some point, there's gonna be some financial disclosure that the board's gonna have to be doing.
Oh, for the
For the audit,
ethics
Yeah,
disclosure.
April
Yes.
15th.
yeah, and they said it
I
was,
have to do
You
it
should be
too.
getting an email from the
Eddie
Ethics
takes care of
Commission.
oh, okay, Right.
I complete those every year as
Yeah,
well.
me too.
okay.
So
Let's do
if
them.
somebody,
We've just never been asked this board.
if you have questions about it, feel free to let
Okay.
Karen or I know.
Okay, I wasn't sure where, if it got generated from your office.
No, no, it comes from the Oregon
Ethics Commission.
Ethics Commission.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Kim has to do
Government
them and I
ethics.
have to do them. But we get it out of Eddie's office.
But now we have to do it.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll get you'll get an email from them.
One more thing.
Yeah,
I'm happy to help you with it. if you
okay,
need.
great.
I have training in the next couple weeks on it.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Sorry, I'm a little.
Yeah,
bit-
they're super easy. It's very obvious. But you know, a good training on the first one is a good idea.
Yeah, anyway, thanks so much for the report.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, Kim. Next, we'll go ahead and first student,
I think it's a written report,
Darlene's here.
unless you have questions. Yeah.
Kim's here. Kim, I know it's Kim. Hey, Kim, I'm looking, we're making headway. We're down to only needing 16 drivers. That's exciting. That's 4 less than the
It's-
months before.
It just fluctuates all the time. We're working as hard as we can to keep people coming in and get them through that, so that they don't stagnate. And just, we're constantly trolling. But, think things, we just have so many ups and downs, it seems like, between people's health and people leaving the area and everything. It's a constant fight.
Yeah,
And you're rolling over those van drivers into CDL drivers.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
They come in and,
Still long enough.
those vans are really easy to drive and you only have a maximum of 5 kids in them.
Yeah.
So, it's a hard mindset change for some of them, but we're working on it and we've managed to get a couple. We'll keep
That's-
working on them.
That's great. I love that you included the resolutions from your drivers. To me, it just, I'm inferring that that's just a reflection of the training that they're getting for PBIS and trying to improve their connections with kids. And I really like that. Thanks for including those.
Great.
Your reports are always kind of like that. There's a very human element to them,
Mhm.
and I really appreciate that.
Darlene does a good job with
Yeah, she
us.
does.
yeah, great job. Anyway, thank you so much, Kim. Anybody have any questions for Kim? I know you have a long day, so I'll let you go. And,
Thank you.
Yes.
I like our disco lights going on tonight.
Yes, we have our wonderful staff member who keeps running up and back.
She's gonna get her steps in for today.
Yeah, anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to board reports. I'm gonna call on Megan.
We're back from break.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Jumping in, yeah.
Had a good rest. Now we're back.
Mhm.
I went to a concert in Toledo after our board meeting. A little more chaotic than usual, but it's great to see kids with instruments and learning how to do how to operate them. Well, that's a dumb word, to play them. I'm just so happy to see that happening and concerts happening and the community comes out, not 200 like here, but the multipurpose room was full and I love seeing that. I'm continuing with Aspire. I'm working with 7 kids now, I think, and that's the college prep stuff. And it's just a joy for me to work with those kids. They're so appreciative that there are people that care, being a volunteer is fantastic. I really love it. And yeah, that's what I've done.
I went to the elementary school concert too, and it was fun. And I'm looking forward to go and have lunch with the staff on Friday. I usually bring the food and when they call it, so do I bring the lunch? And they said, no, you don't bring the lunch.
Not this time.
All
So I'm
right.
excited.
We do know it's a special month then. don't
Yeah.
we? All righty. I don't know if Mike has anything.
Yeah, I do. I want to say that this Sunday at Atonement Lutheran Church, they're having a concert. And some of the children, local children are involved in it. So, instruments and I guess maybe chorus, I'm not sure about that. It starts at 2:30 PM and we'll be having it downstairs at the church so we can take upstairs rather. And we can take a fair sized crowd. So please come.
You asked him to repeat that.
Yeah, Mike, can you repeat that? We didn't get the first part.
Okay, this Sunday at Atonement Lutheran Church, there's a concert involving people coming in from out of town and also local school children
All right,
at Atonement Lutheran Church. So please come.
all right, thank you. Sounds
2:30 PM, 2:30 PM,
3:30 PM, all righty,
2:30, 2:30.
2:30, okay, got it. Got it, thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Anything else? If not, we'll go ahead and hear from Dr. Gray.
Yes, so at this time, I'd like to call Facilities Director Richard Baloney to the table. A couple of my items definitely have a lot to do with him. And he will be able to speak to it. I'd like to give you a winter break status update, meaning our properties during winter break and projects.
So we poured concrete today at Fort High. We'll see how smart that was.
You said that.
But we got the slab down. It's now it's a matter of how hard it rains and how lucky we are. But this was the only day, looking last week for 2 weeks, the grandstands are, they tell me he's on a truck and it'll be here on the 16th, which works out really well because we have no kids. So the crane and be able to come in and unload the parts and pieces. It comes in 3 parts. And so the contractor's from McMinnville, and he says he'll be on site and starting to put it together. So we took a chance and poured, and we were in pretty good shape. It rained around 3 o'clock for 20-30 minutes. Didn't do too much damage. And we may end up having to grind some of the floor and do a little bit, but we're going to be able to put the grandstands together, which is great. And the wind quit blowing a little bit today. So you can view they can finally put this plywood on the roof that's been blowing so hard last week. Is blowing their hard hats off, and with a piece of plywood, they're going clear across the roof, so they couldn't work on the roof. So we lost a little bit of time there just because of the weather and safety. And they were going to try to work late tonight and get all the plywood down, and then they could nail it off when it's blowing a little bit. So that's a big step for us. And then the step after that is they'll put some not plastic, but some sticky stuff down that'll take about 99% of the water away so that they can actually get started on the inside. Then they go in and they got to pour the little strip, about 5-foot strip. Apologize about the lights, but that's our energy saving. And each one of them goes for it's supposed to be 15 minutes, but they're not going that long. But if nobody's around, the lights go off and we save energy. But nobody really thought about what if you have a meeting and
It's kind of cool.
everybody's sitting still. So this happened to us in Toledo 3 or 4 years ago at Toledo Elementary, the same thing, because the board was sitting back where the music room is now, and there was no music. So one of us had to just kept circling the room to keep the lights going. So that's
We have
what's
some
going on.
helpers in the back.
Yeah, they got Susan's been getting the ones over there. She's a light monitor, and
We keep you active.
we got up and she took care of some and gave me a dirty look because why are you making the lights not work when I'm having the board up here?
No, it's good. It's energy savings. We're all for it.
So we're excited about it's really starting to move forward. When they pour this inside strip, then they can get rid of all the stuff holding up the boards, all the walls of the point of view, that'll all go away. Then all of a sudden they can start prepping for painting. They can start, an electrician can start running all their stuff. Things start happening pretty fast. So we're hoping that the grandstands will be up usable by the middle of March.
Wow.
And we're hoping that doesn't include the building underneath with the storage
Yeah.
and bathrooms and that stuff. That will use as filler and may run. We'll be done by September, but I'd like to be done by the first of by summer so we can do something else, but it'll kind of depend on how many emergencies and other things we have going on.
That's right.
So both of those, and then we're hoping to be done. They tell me the first week of March, they'll be done by about the 10th. I'm figuring at Uquint View, I'm figuring it's really probably going to be about the 1st of April, but talking with Kristen, she's got a big deal with all the parents in May. That's her big time that she
The
really
board
needs
will
to
be
use it.
invited.
Okay,
It'd be an opening
Yeah.
for both the grandstands and YV. Over the break, we had a boiler that shut off. And we worked on that. I wanted you to know kind of the status of what was happening over winter break with our properties. We also had some trees that fell down over by Sam Case, which were fixed.
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard as well. So had some really kind of some minor issues. The one at Walport High was the day before school came back. It was on Monday. And it couldn't happen a week before. But anyway, we could go into great detail that you don't want to hear, but it was all cleaned up and fixed up and ready for the kids the next day. And anything else of note that you can think of, Rich, that the board should know?
You had me down to talk about the Holly Farm. Do you want to do that?
I want to wait and make sure that we're done with this topic.
Any questions on all the projects we got going?
Or winter
They're actually
break.
starting to move. It's which is
You feel like
for a
you're
long
you're
time.
finally getting some.
For a long time, Karen and I traded texts. I quit. We're done.
Yes.
We're getting- And I'd say, no, we don't quit. We're not done. And then I text, I agree, we quit. I'm done. Everybody, no, we don't quit. We're gonna keep. We
make a good team.
we went through the ups and downs of.
Yeah. It's still moving along. If there are no further questions, we'd like to get into an idea around long-range facility planning at the Holly Farm. This is for information, and then we'll be asking actually when we do budgeting for X amount of dollars for planning. Go ahead, Peter.
No, I'll follow up later.
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
So talking to a geologist that we've used, he used to work for FEI for a long time, Mel McCracken. He now works for Foundation Engineering. They're actually two doors apart. One of them quit and he moved down to the next deal. And then talking to an engineering firm called Devco out of Corvallis. And the idea is to figure out what it would cost to get far enough along that we could level the property at the Holly Farm. And so the idea is to get the geological, the engineer, and be in a position that we could put out a bid if we wanted to, and also in a position that we could get the 1200C permit that we'll need to be able to do to meet DEQ's requirements. And so we met today, went through their estimates, and it looks like it might cost around $60,000 to get us in a position that we could go out to bid if we wanted to. And that could possibly happen as early as the summer, or we could say, we could go out to bid and we could get it and say, we don't have anywhere near that kind of money. Not a good idea. We're going to hold off on it. We'll wait till a bond. Or we could say, let's try to figure out a way we can do it and get it done and get the ground all healed. And it'll sit there. And for a bond, if we pass a bond and if we decide we want to build a school, it would be in a position like Walport really was, that you could start, that you don't have to
That's the
spend a
idea.
year or 2 years getting it ready. Because the trouble is, as you all can see, costs are climbing like that. And every year it just keeps costing more. And if you promise something here, what's it going to be here? And so I want to get in a position that I can bring it to you and have you look at it and give you and talk with Karen and Kim and, where would the money come from? What we don't have any money, we can't do it, or we possibly do, and then let you guys make a decision. But it really needs to be.
So when you say the Holly Farm, are you saying the whole?
No, there's 54 acres. We've used about 2 for the other deal. A whole bunch of it is not
Yeah.
really usable. It's a lot of canyon and wilderness that we don't want to disturb this deal. So it'd be kind of the entry when you come in, and it's kind of in a horseshoe shape around a little canyon that goes down the middle. We keep that in there. And that's kind of what we're looking at, about 19 acres that could end usable, and it could end up more, or it could end up a little bit less.
Okay, thanks.
And
That
we
kind of
will
gives
be
me an
looking
idea.
to, the board's creation of a political action committee, which is one of your strategic plan goals. And also, looking at, what was I gonna say? Yeah, multiple uses of that, property, which could be anything from a school to workforce housing. So, we have lots of housing issues here. I'm on the Newport Housing Advisory Committee. And we have housing issues everywhere, as everybody knows. So this is an opportunity for Lincoln County School District for the future. We were thinking when we were last up there, Rich and I, we really need to move this forward into a planning grant. And, you don't want to get caught flat-footed in a bond. You want to be able to be ahead of it. And I think that we can either apply for a grant or we have currently have enough dollars to be able to support that, but we're not really doing that tonight. Tonight, we just wanted to bring the board the idea to think about. And we will be bringing this to a subsequent board meeting. Tonight is just a first kind of reading of an idea, and we wanted to bring it forward to you.
Right.
Because we're getting into budget season. We
Yeah.
need to have this
Yeah.
on the table.
And Karen did bring up workforce housing. We have a 3 to 4 acre parcel that's below where the buses are, that it's kind of be out of the
Really
way, but
nice.
be in a place where we'd own the property. We could pump to the sewer that we're gonna push onto the city. So a lot of infrastructure and road system where you wouldn't have to develop it. It's a wild idea, but it's something that we think about all the time. We've been talking about it for a long time.
When did you let that get in the way?
Yeah.
Never,
Yeah.
we don't let anything get in the way. Thank you very much, Rich. I appreciate your
Thank you
time
very
tonight.
much.
Continuing with the superintendent's report, board chair Martin asked for a programs list for Lincoln County School District. That's the next item on the agenda. I think that this is a fantastic piece of work where you can see by department, elementary, secondary, facilities, technology, special programs, HR director, business, superintendent's office, special programs, assistant superintendent, and ed technology. These are the programs list that you asked for. So these are all the programs that we supervise, design, implement, monitor, and assess every year in Lincoln County School District. And this document, this list of directors' programs will be going up on our website so that anybody wanting to look up, well, what are the programs in Lincoln County School District? You can see, I don't know how many there are here, many. And you've got a list now.
Awesome. Thank you. It's just what I wanted.
You're very welcome.
I have community people ask me and I'll say, I'm not sure, I need to check. And with this list, I'm going to be able to go ahead and find exactly what program it is and who is
And who's
in charge of it.
in charge of it.
And, all I want to say, wow.
Mm.
This is huge.
When you look at it like that,
This is huge. It's a lot of programs going on.
and all for kids. This is for kids. This is what this is all about. This is all about how I think that most of, frankly, a lot of people, I would have to say, maybe not most, but a lot in the public truly are not aware of the complexity of what it is to run a school district. We are multifaceted. And there are a lot of different things Lincoln County School District has developed over the years to support staff and to support students and the community. So I'm very proud of this work and proud of all the people connected to this work. I might superintend this work, but this work is near and dear to our administrative team and to our staff. So kudos to them for their hard work and all of the things that they have developed. Are there any questions about the programs list?
I need to go through it myself. I need to
I
take some
think so.
time and really go through it.
Yeah. We could have.
So I can tell you that you forgot something.
But probably, yeah.
Probably not, but Eddie, I applaud you because I know that you really worked hard on getting this document together and I think it's going to come in really handy for all of us and
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it going on the website and perhaps a press release just on it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really informative for the general public to know.
I agree.
Oh,
Moving on, I'm taking Walport High School students to the Newport Symphony Orchestra concert a week from Saturday. Eddie is going to join me. And I'm very excited because those Walport High School students have worked on the Yacona project. We had a very particular piece of music created specifically for the Newport Symphony Orchestra. I think that some people know that I'm the board president of the Newport Symphony Orchestra. And we have our students presenting a video in the entryway to the PAC, the Performing Arts Center, and the students that created that are going to be there presenting that to the community. It is an honor. It's a 2-year project that we've been working on with Conductor Flat. And I am incredibly proud of the work of our students in creating this Yacona Preserve beautiful piece of artwork and music for the entire community to enjoy. And I really encourage the community to come out and enjoy a beautiful evening of music, January 21st and 22nd at the Performing Arts Center. Very excited to pick up our students, take them and have a really good time. You can look up tickets on either the NSO website or the PAC website. That's my report tonight.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Gray? If not, we'll go ahead and move along. The adoption of the consent calendar. There's a personnel action in there. And the final reading of the policy updates, set of 3.
That's it for policies for a while. Take a breath.
Right. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as published in this month's board agenda. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Let's see, on business services.
Human resources.
You'll go number 9, action.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Moved a little quick there. At this point, we're human resources. At this time, we have.
Number 9, above 9A.
Okay, at night, okay. I would like to, at this time, make a change in agenda, and I would like to move section. What is it, Eddie?
10B1.
10B1 up from information and discussion to action under human resources. I don't know where mine went, but it's not there. So is anyone have any problem with that? Moving that one. Okay, all right. So we'll be doing that. So at this point under human resources 9A, we will we have received the announcement from Superintendent Dr. Gray, her retirement effective July 1st, 2023. We have received a letter to that extent. At this time, I would entertain a motion to accept Superintendent Dr. Karen Gray's retirement and terminate her contract effective July 1st, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Same. I'll second.
Mike seconds.
Nobody
We
moved
did
it.
Oh, I thought somebody did.
Okay,
I will move that we accept
okay, thank you.
her.
Peter Bitsy is making the motion. Mike Rawls is seconding the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. None being opposed, motion carries. Really, I don't know what to say.
I know.
But thank you for everything. And that's
Thank
all,
you.
and that's all I can say right now.
Thank you, Liz.
Anyway. So since we have made a change in the agenda, at this time, I'd really like to talk to you. The board is going to vote on the process that we are using in hiring a new superintendent. This comes with a lot of thought. Careful thought, consideration. And at this point, I will list to you the options that we have presented, and then we will be taking a vote. Each of the options that I'm mentioning below include a community forum in the 4 major areas of the district. Options are, number 1, to accept internal applicants, where we would accept applications from current employees of Lincoln County School District, which would include a resume, cover letter, and community forms. Option number 2, conduct a nationwide search, which we would likely hire a company to help us perform. Option number 3, the board will enter into an initial agreement, not a contract, an initial agreement with Maya Lee Stolen, the current director of secondary education for Lincoln County School District. This option will include a resume, cover letter, and community forms. I will now ask each board member which option they are choosing. This is in no particular order. And so we're voting on 3 different options that we see to continue on this hiring process of a new superintendent. Mike Walls, option 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Mike Walls votes option number 3. Option 1, 2, or 3.
1.
Member calling option number 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Thank you. Third Vice Chair Peter Vinci.
3.
I also vote for option number 3. And my vote, Liz Martin, as board chair, will be for option number 3. So it is a vote of the board. Was option number 3. We want to make it very clear that this process is the board's decision and only the board's decision for hiring our next superintendent. A part of our decision-making process, we propose community forums as a way for the community to share their hopes, their future, and hear Maya Lee Stone's vision for Lincoln County School District. Based upon the decision of the board, we will enter into an initial agreement and set up community meetings with Maya Lee Stone as our candidate. Dates and times of the forums will be announced this week. As a last step of the hiring process, we will be finalizing our decision to offer a contract to Maya Lee Stone at our February business meeting.
Yes, you're allowed to clap if you like. Yes, you're allowed to clap.
Thank you. There's been a great deal of thought gone into this process. And I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep. And I'm very confident in our decision. So thank you very much. Thank you, board members. As the one that we're here for kids and we're figuring out what's best for kids. And so while we might not agree 100%, we're all in unison that we are here for kids and that's what matters most. Okay. So I would just want to make sure that's known by everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and move along because I have to. Anything more that anybody would like to add at this time? Any of the board members? All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone's input and respectfully accepted. Next, budget services, the budget committee calendar update from Kim. I didn't see a copy of the calendar on our information.
No, we didn't get it in there.
Okay.
So I neglected to advertise for these budget committee positions in the paper and on the website in the month of December in order that people could apply by the 1st of January. So we're going to need to, we've, as the board has already been notified, we have begun advertising for that, and we need to change the dates to February 1st, that the applications will be received in the district office. And then the board will be interviewing candidates and selecting hopefully a candidate or selecting 2 people for one for zone 2 and one for zone 3 at the February regular board meeting.
Okay. Okay. That's going to give you enough time.
Yes, it's a month. It will be on the paper throughout the month.
Okay.
And we've advertised on the website as well. In talking with Dr. Gray, considering that we may want to put this on the calendar as a regular item to advertise in January, to do it every year, start in January and elect them or choose them, I'm sorry, in February, because it's December advertising over the holidays. People have other things going on and aren't really, in the mindset to apply for something like this. January, we're starting to talk about budget, and then February is a little closer to when we actually would have the training for this committee and do the budget committee meetings in May.
And so I think you probably did say, but it will be on the website, right? Because that's where
It is on the website
I have been
already.
directing people there.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
already there. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll do the interviews next meeting.
Yes, next
Okay.
meeting, February 14th.
Okay, great.
Applications are due on February 1st, and they can be found on the website or by
Awesome.
contacting the district office.
We'll get them filled.
So much
will.
better timing.
Yeah, it is.
They're both for the Newport area,
Much
so
better.
those are easier to fill
Mhm.
as well.
Awesome.
Mm. And what was the training?
And we'll do training likely in April. It's about
Right.
It's a good way for
People
community.
serve
to
for
get
about a
involved.
month, a year. Yeah,
It's a good way for community to get involved.
it is.
If people
Excellent.
want to have a say in the school district, one of the entrees is through Sci Council. And one of the entrees is through the budget committee. Many of the budget, the board members have come up through the budget committee process.
That's true.
And it's a really great way for community members to get involved. The budget committee only meets a couple of times. It's not like the board that meets like all the time, but they just meet a couple of times and take a training and really help the district to ascertain a properly formatted and well thought out budget. It's a really great way for people to get involved.
It is. And we typically have a 2-hour training in April.
It's really good.
We, over the last several years, have passed the budget in one meeting, which is a 2-hour meeting in May. We have 2 other meetings scheduled, so it's, a maximum of 8 hours a year
Yeah.
to serve the district. So
I'm
it's
using
good opportunity.
the budget committee and budget PowerPoint that Kim has created in my mentorship program of the new superintendent in Coos Bay. And I'm going to take that beautiful training that Kim has created and use it as my training document for her. Because while she was an assistant superintendent for 7 years in Eugene, she hadn't been superintendent yet. And just saying that the high quality of materials that Kim puts out is really worthy to share with the state. So
Thank you.
I'm super excited to have that material handy.
And I can just say that I took the training last year.
Mm.
It was excellent. I'll be there again in April with.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Me too.
so I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's very helpful.
It's excellent. You could put it on a statewide website because it tells people what really the budget committee work is and what it isn't. And I think that's where a lot of budget committee meetings go sideways, is that people don't know what it really is.
That training is actually on our website as well under budget and finances. So if people were interested in participating in the budget committee, that's a good resource to know
Bravo.
what
It's
it,
under
what it
budget
entails.
and finances.
Mhm.
That's a great place to set in people that are interested in it. Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you so much. All right, moving along. Rich, are you gonna come up and talk to us about
He's waiting.
the CMGC?
Madam
It's
Chair,
hiding in the wings.
we need a motion to adopt the new calendar budget.
But we don't have,
Oh, all right,
I can't adopt anything that I don't have.
very true.
Yes, I'll,
Good point. We'll do it later.
I forgot two things.
No worries.
Over winter break, we moved, the Toledo staff culinary room got finished. And so they're now using it, short of one refrigerator doesn't work right. We're trying to figure out somebody to fix it. And the Taft High Forestry building was complete. The kids are moved into it, so they didn't have to have class outside.
So tell us a little bit about the forestry building for Taft High. Principal Lupo was in the audience. I see him sitting there cheering.
Yeah. So we Taft High had no space and had one room with a forestry program in it, and it was needed for special ed. And so Karen and Carol worked me over and said, "What's your solution?" And I said, "Well, maybe we should build a building out here." And Karen says, "Well, then you better get busy." So
And he did.
and so we had brought in a portable for the beginning of school for them. It was pretty small. It's was like 50 feet long and 12 feet wide. So pretty narrow, but Jake Tolan had class in there the whole time and never complained once. And we worked some pretty long hours over winter break to finish it up and to move them in. We still have some fence to put up and some concrete to pour on the outside that we're looking for a little better weather, but we got a concrete walk-in. We've got them in. We need a couple whiteboards. We need a little more painting, but we're in and having class and he's not complaining at all. I seem to be the only one complaining, so.
What's the square footage of the building?
It's 2,000 square feet. There's about 500 outside. That's a covered area that they can work in, like where they'll probably put a sawmill. And then there's about a 500-foot shop and about 1,000 square foot classroom. So their classroom looks through windows into the shop. And then from the shop, there's two big garage doors that look out into the lumber area where their poles are and where they do all their work. And it's built so that when his program grows, we can just extend it north. And the interior wall is not a bearing wall, so it can move. So theoretically, we have a plan to get bigger, something that might happen in a bond or something that might happen later. But it looks like the program is really, watching the kids go in and out is really popular. And I think they had to cap the class because there was enough room for them.
So is the modular gone?
It's gone.
Thank you.
We didn't even take a picture of it.
Good.
Didn't have
Bye-bye.
memorialized
Yeah,
it.
and on the 19th, they came and picked it up.
That's
Awesome.
And then the pressure was on to be able to get finished because there was no place for him to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Nick said he'd find some place, but we were able to get it done. So I failed to mention those two. And I know Toledo's really high with their culinary room. Their kids are using part of the time and the staff's using it too. So it came out pretty nice. So if you happen to get over there, take a look at it.
beautiful things.
It's really changed from what it looked like. If you'd ever been in Toledo, Peter was never in the staff room, but it was not a thing to behold. It kind of reminded me of the old locker rooms.
Used to be where teachers smoke in the back room. No, in the back room, when I first started teaching there, there was a smoking section and the
I
not smoking section.
remember.
And there were more people in the smoking section and it was like small.
We're just telling our age.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody smokes now.
Yeah, there you go.
I know.
So we have a seismic grant for Quinn of You. We went out for RFP, which you guys approved to do CMGC. We received the CMGC stuff last week. Karen and Tim and I interviewed. They were all of them complimented why is the superintendent here? No, superintendent usually doesn't come to these. And Karen says, well, I superintend. I think that's what you said.
Exactly what I said.
And so we ended up selecting O'Brien out of Cannon Beach this time. In the past, we've had DSL every time and they applied. But we really felt like O'Brien offered some new things and it was we just felt like we should try them. They had some different stuff. So what we've done, and so what we'd like to have you guys do is approve O'Brien as our CMGC for Uquinaview, subject to a 7-day appeal period. So what it really means is that in 7 days, if there's no appeal, then we can award it to O'Brien. If there's an appeal, then we'll bring it to you at the next board meeting.
All right.
I say that right, Eddie?
Any questions for Rich? Good job.
Excellent job, Rich.
Thank you.
Even this late in the, evening.
Yeah, for me, that's
Yeah.
You should take off, actually.
Yeah, yeah. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to award the contract for the Uquinaview seismic project to O'Brien and Bill, provided there is no protest within 7 days of publication in the Daily Journal of Commerce published on July 11th. Do I have such a motion? Is that you, Megan?
I said January 11th.
Sorry, January 11th, sorry. I'm messing up.
So moved.
All right, do I have a second?
What do I do?
I'm looking for a second for the motion.
I second.
Cynthia seconds the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Rich.
Just a reminder to the board, this had come up as a question towards the end of our last meeting at Sam Case regarding the CMGC process of allowing us to do it this way. This was the process where we sat down with these 3 companies. They did bids, they did everything everybody else does. It just allows us to be able to not have to pick the lowest bidder, but to pick the right person for Lincoln County School District. All of them had a great expertise in CMGC, which means that they are there from the beginning. So they're helping to design the bicycle that we're building instead of looking at the bike we built and then saying we want to change it. In the long haul, it saves you money, it saves you time, it saves you aggravation. And this is for a $2.5 million seismic project, of which our intention is to do another $2.5 million grant application for the other half of Uquinaview. So Uquinaview Elementary School is getting quite an uplift, and it's about time. So this is our 7th project. And we didn't award it to the same people. We gave it to someone new. Just wanted you to know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Moving on to 10A, teaching and learning. We're looking at a presentation from Vince and Brian on refresh the Chromebooks. You're on. Is Brian with you tonight?
He's with me.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
I'm not going to do a presentation. I'm just going to, so those of you that may or may not know this, but we have a program called Every One-to-One. And in September of 2019, we went live with this program to where every student, September of 2019, every student's grades 1 through 12 had an individual Chromebook. And then the year after that, we were kindergarten. So every K-12 student in our district has a Chromebook. And so part of that is just the annual refresh. So I'm here tonight to ask for funding to refresh our 9th graders' devices this coming year, to buy Chromebooks now for this fall's 9th graders to have a new device to use for the 4 years of high school. And then at the end of 4 years, we get that device back and put it into service in other locations. I have a quote that's from Dell, which is our preferred vendor, and it's through a contract. And the quote is $264 per unit, and I want to buy 450 of them, so it comes up to $119,043. So because it's over 100K, I need to sit here and
Yeah.
ask
Um,
for permission.
Does anyone have any questions? I would like to ask the board if they would have any problem with going ahead and taking a vote on this tonight. That's something that is pretty straightforward, something that we do every year that
Let me add in a little bit more coloration here. As far as the funding goes. While we haven't pinpointed it quite yet, we have funds in 3 different pots that we're able to use for this. We have some carryover. We have technology money, which you so graciously transferred money into in your budget decision from last year, and also some possibility of some high school success money. We're still having conversation. Kim is still thinking about where this should come from. We have ample funds to be able to pay $119,000 for the freshman refresh. And remember, we are a 1-to-1 school district and we need to keep up with technology. So I just wanted you to hear a little bit more about the money end of it. And I have no doubt that this would be able for us to do.
So I have a couple questions for you guys. The Chromebooks for K-6, are they of a lower capability than the ones for the high school? Or are they're all equally?
They're all the same
They're all
model,
the
same,
same.
and same
Okay.
brand.
Well, one distinction would be that we have a device for the very smallest kids, the kindergartners. That's a touch screen device.
Okay,
And we also have that in all of the Compass Online elementary school students' hands.
okay.
They all have a device where they can use a pen and they can draw and stuff on it or touch it with their hands.
So are they like, they're the same as these Chromebooks here that the board has?
No, they're a smaller format.
Okay.
I think the school
So
board
like the
had,
ones we had last year?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
11-inch.
And do you poll or survey students about how useful they're finding those machines?
We're actually in the process of doing a strategic plan development, and Brian, maybe you can talk about the survey that you sent out to the staff on that.
Yeah, I've surveyed the staff a few times and most recently we're doing one right now, actually. There's a person in each school that's called the EdTech cadre member. That person is surveying their staff to ask about Chromebooks and the usefulness of it and problems that come up with it, because we have a lot of those too. Student wise, though, we have surveys that are in development. We have not given them to the students yet.
I'd be really interested to hear how students and the cadre team members, how they feel, how effective they are. Let me ask you another question. Those machines can't handle the Adobe suite, that level of program.
No, not
Okay.
traditional like you're used to,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
there are apps that work
Yeah.
from Adobe that will work on a Chromebook.
Okay, right.
They're making new ones like every day.
Right.
Yeah. But on that last note, you were just talking about what were you just saying right before that, the question before? Oh, that's the students. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we in our last round of strategic planning, we had community forums, I guess, where people would come and talk, and the students we're gonna do that again, where students and parents and everyone can come and talk about how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, because so often, kids tend to be a little bit ahead of the curve, or some of them do.
Sure.
And they know what capabilities that the machines that they would like to see in them. So let's say you're a freshman kid. Is there any training on how to use the machines at all? Is there training for staff, how to best utilize?
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, okay, great.
So the students get it from their teachers.
Yep.
I don't have anything directly to students, really. Just like care of the device type stuff.
Yeah.
But I work with teachers on how to use their technology with students in various ways
Yeah.
throughout the year.
You have a little phrase for it about, what is it? Something, I'll think of it. I know you're doing that. When I was teaching, I was very much interested in ed tech and utilizing it for student work and as an extension of their capabilities and their ability to do the higher level blue
Right.
stuff. Right.
Right. There's a couple frameworks that we reference. One is called the triple A. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's 4A.
4A.
Yeah, there's 3 different models that my brain is processing right now, but the idea is to try to we don't want, I'm not giving you a Chromebook just so that you can
Dig around on it.
dig around on it or use, rather than using paper and pencil. I don't want it just to substitute. I want it
Yeah.
to extend and expand and
Yeah.
the knowledge and the experience that you're using. So these students have been using Chromebooks in their classrooms now for 4 years. So.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to your report. I don't know if Dr. Gray is going to have you report back to us, but I'm really interested in that and seeing how effective they feel it is, how their teachers feel how the effectiveness of it and what teachers think they need additional training to make it even more effective.
Right.
So,
So
yeah.
are you hoping to get them for this school year or next school year?
Well, with your approval, I'd like to buy the Chromebooks and they'll be ready and prepared to be given to this.
Class.
This September,
Okay,
the incoming class of 2023.
okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Does anyone have any reason why we wouldn't go ahead and take a vote on this right now? Otherwise, it will show up in next month's agenda as a.
Are you
Action
facing any
item.
time crunch? It's an order, it's a supply chain thing, right?
Supply chain, get them in,
Prep them for,
prep them.
yeah, yeah.
Just to have the security of they're in the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Do they come prefabbed or do you guys have to mirror them?
we have to mirror them.
Yeah.
Something to that effect, yes.
Okay.
I'm just worried about getting them here and
No,
Anyway.
better to have them ready to
ready to
go.
go. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. If extra month gives you more time to get it ordered. Unless anyone has any opposition to it. At this time, I would go ahead and entertain a motion to have the tech department purchase Chromebooks in the amount of $119,043 estimated cost by the technology department. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you very much. Go ahead and get them ordered.
Thank you, Vincent.
Yeah, thank you so much.
guys.
Thank you for
Appreciate
your time.
Technology, appreciate it.
All right, we're just moving on to, we received no blue cards. We'll be moving on to reminders and announcements. Remember, there's a January work session on the 24th at the TLC building at 5 o'clock. February business meeting is on the 14th at Toledo High at 6:30. And February work session will be a joint meeting with OCC with more details to follow
And that meeting will be at OCCC.
at OCCC. And remember, Eddie will send out reminders. Centennial meeting is coming up.
It is coming up on the 19th.
And those
of January.
of you still on the equity team meeting, they will be meeting as well,
25th, right?
25th.
25th.
Yeah, so,
Salishan.
yeah. All right. Anyone from the board have anything else they'd like to add at this time for good of the order?
I just want to thank you for all the.
Yeah, these are awesome.
They're lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your hard work and your incredible deliberations. You guys are incredible.
Thank you so much. And I love the posters. I was hoping maybe afterwards we could get the picture of the four of us in front of that poster. I think it'd really be fun.
Sure.
But again, thank you all for attending tonight. Appreciate you being here and the lovely gifts. And with that, meeting is adjourned.